In this episode, what we are going to do is we are going to get into RURPLE and we are going to build a house with some windows. We need to make sure that we put a beeper in front of each of the windows to make sure that when it rains, the windows are all shut. So we're getting into RURPLE at this point. We're getting bigger. I like to put on the screen the summary of instructions. Then I'm going to go to Robot Code and Learn. First step is we need to build a house. Now this exercise can be extremely difficult if you get complicated. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click here on the walls thing and I am going to make just a square house. Doesn't matter what the dimensions of the house are, except that it just needs to be rectangular or square. So here is the house. What I'm going to do is get the robot up here inside the house at this point. So what I need to do is I need to move him forward. So I'm moving him forward. Then I am rotating him to face up and go forward a couple more steps. Now that I have him inside the house, I can complete that. Now let's make a couple of windows here. We'll make a big plate glass window here. And here, we'll put another window in, and we'll put a couple of windows here on the bottom. Now you need to be careful not to put windows at a corner or that will confuse the robot on when to turn. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to give the robot some beepers. So I'm going to go to Give Beepers, and let's go and give the robot enough beepers to complete his task. And then let's go ahead and save this. We'll call this Rain. So I'm going to click there and we're going to call this Rain. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going to teach the robot to follow the wall around. Rather than just step in specific order and the specific list, let's teach the robot how to follow the wall. So I'm thinking that as we move the robot forward, we can test to see if there is a wall in front, like right here, and then we would turn him to the right and he would be going this direction. And then as soon as he senses a wall in front here, turn him to the right and he could go down until he senses there's a wall in front of him. And then he could turn to the right, and then he could come down here, and as soon as he sees that he's on top of a beeper, we'll put a beeper when we first start, then he can stop. So it looks like we need the right turn, so we look here and we have no turn right, do we? So let's define turn right. How do we turn right? We make 3 left turns. So for I in range 3, turn left. So now he knows how to turn right. And now what we need him to do, let's go ahead and define the main section of the program here. And then down here we will run the main section of the program. And right here, we need to make sure that we turn him off before we get going too far. Let's put a space there. Okay, so in the main section of the program, what we want him to do, we'll say while not. And here we have a function here that says on beeper. So we can say while he's not on a beeper, what do we want him to do? Let's expand that a little bit so we can see easier. What do we want him to do while he's not on a beeper? Okay, first of all, we need to check to see if there is a wall in front of us. So we look here and see if is front clear. So we can say if front is clear. Then what are we going to do? We are going to move Otherwise, if the front is not clear, then what we want him to do, that's the else part of the if. So we're going to say else. So if this is true, if the front is clear, we're going to move him forward. If the front is not clear, then we are going to turn right. And then we will continue on with the loop. And at this point, what I want to do is I want to test it just to make sure that it's working. This is called stepwise refinement. You want to write a little piece of code, make sure that it works, and then expand it from there. So I'm going to turn the robot loose. Let's turn the speed up just one little notch there and turn him loose. Okay, it looks like we've got him running around in a circle. Let's stop him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset back to here. And first step that we need to do is we need to put a beeper where we're, let's see, if we put the beeper right there, then that while not on beeper is going to see the beeper. So what we need to do is we need to place a beeper. And how do we place a beeper? That is put beeper. So we'll go back here and we'll put a beeper where we start. And then we're going to move him forward one step. That way he's not on the beeper, so this will continue on until you see that beeper. So let's see if he stops like I want him to. So let's go ahead and run. So it looks like I've got the beeper placed at the starting point. As soon as he sees that beeper, he should stop. So we've got him marching around the perimeter of the house. Now what we need to do is, if there is a window to the left-hand side, then we need him to place a beeper. So we have the left is clear. So right here, we are going to say if left is clear, then what we want him to do, we want him to put down a beeper. That closes the window so the rain can't get in, and then we check to move him. So let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. So I'm turning him loose, and it looks like we forgot to reset. So let's go ahead and reset him. And let's turn him loose. Looks like he's got a beeper there. Good. Those plate glass windows got plugged up, and it looks like he has plugged up at all of the windows. So that's in essence what we wanted him to do with this program. We should probably save this just in case we want to expand it later. So I'm going to click on the save button, and I'm going to call this rain. Make sure that I've saved it. So now I have saved both the world and the program. So if I reset here and I change, go back here, I want to run the same program, except I am going to put in a different environment. Let's put a window there, a window there. I'm making the house just a little bit bigger. And let's get rid of these walls here. Okay, without changing the program at all, he should be able to go through this house and shut all of the windows. So let's go ahead and run this. And it looks like he knows how to shut the windows in that type of a house. Now the problem is let's say that we want to reset here. That'll bring us back, and we will put a window in the corner. So if we turn him loose, see, he's outside of the house and he's in trouble. So we really can't have a world where we have a corner window, or this program won't work. Guess if you guys want a more serious challenge, you could program it to detect if he's in a corner and has a corner window. Another thing that you could do is possibly if there is a kind of a little extra rectangle here. Let's say this house has like an extra bedroom here. Like that. If we turn him loose on a program like this, and see, he's got a problem, doesn't he? So you could possibly change the program to fix that little problem. So there's a couple of challenges if you are a gifted programmer and you want a little more heavy-duty challenge. So this concludes this podcast. Have a good day.